And analysts really should be on the top of their game. They should be using the most current and most accurate tools they can. And if you think about that, this product's amazing. And they actually, they can do more analytical work rather than just data collection on a daily basis.
My name is Keith Neesner. I work for the Lower Colorado River Authority in Austin, Texas. I'm a business systems analyst, and I manage the functional side of our data warehouse and the OBIEE platform. We implemented the financial analytics module of the OBIEE tool in 2006, and we're currently working on bringing in water retail billing data from a CIS system and integrating that not only with other pieces of offline unstructured data, but back into our financial analytics module.
We have about 2,500 employees, and we're spread out all over Texas. And so we've got power plants that are spread out all over Central Texas. We manage the rivers and lakes and the dams. So we've got hydroelectric power. We have it said it on there. We've got like 3,000 miles of transmission lines, and we have water and wastewater utilities, and we also have wind. We manage data from wind farms, manage power, and we also have parks. So it's kind of a diverse thing. We were created in 1934 by the state of Texas. So we're a quasi-state agency.
So we started working with Lower Colorado River Authority back in 2006, and we've been great partners ever since, continuously working with them since we started. The initial deployment was finance analytics on top of PeopleSoft, and it was an interesting deployment because they were utilizing a source of PeopleSoft that was not supported at the time. But the project went well, and we delivered fantastic value. We also did a variety of training with the BICG University, and it's been so well received at Lower Colorado River Authority that it's now integrated into their knowledge management system. And then finally, we also deployed BICG Impact, and it's been a great tool for them. They just recently purchased that tool, which allowed them to save some time in regards to understanding what's actually going on in their data warehouse.
We had several challenges. We had data that was just all over the place. We were using tools that were non-standard. They were just Access, Excel, and everything was being built from the ground up. And it's really interesting. People would go into our financial system, PeopleSoft, take everything they could out of it, and then just build every single report from the ground up. And it was risky. So we actually brought it into a central repository, and we also had the challenge of metadata just all over the place. We sell electricity, so like net megawatt hours is a real good metric, and everybody thought net should be calculated differently. And so it was real interesting. We actually overcame a lot of that, and we've got metadata managed now, and we also have all of our calculations. A lot of those are managed. It's really great. One of our big things was the user adoption, and we actually had a really strong executive level support and sponsorship. So that was a really big thing for us. We involved a lot of users throughout the project, and so that was a really positive thing. We actually got them involved. They helped write the initial set of dashboards and reports. So then when we went to use it, they actually were the champions of it, and they pushed it down. I mentioned earlier that we do a lot, everybody does a lot with Excel, and I'm sure, and it's so funny because Excel is such a powerful tool, and it's amazing to see how analysts have so much power in a company. And so we got into a situation just like anybody would, where I just, I need Excel. I needed to still download a ton of data. And so it's what we did. We took an approach where we cut all access to downloading from the system. We removed it. It was so interesting. And it was great. And so we actually used the features of the tool, OBIEE, to manage. They had to stay in the dashboards, and we used the features to let them have the sense of an ad hoc feel, but no, they could not download. And so it actually forced them to identify the reports that they really needed, get those automated, get those out there, and the analyst role was taken out of less data collection and actually more into actually using the reports and analyzing the data. We also got education and training for our end users. We're bringing some more stuff online, like I said. So we're sending all of our users through the training now through BICG, and that way they can help with the implementation of the product, and then just take it from day one. Really, most of the time, users, especially ones that are not heavy users of the data, they don't really quite understand what they're looking at. They can muddle through it, but having a set of standard reporting is so much more important for them, especially because if they can get the data in Excel, they're going to do some inaccurate reporting. They're going to find, oh, well, this looks interesting. I bet this is important. Let me go ahead and display it. When actually that was, the completely wrong thing to do. So that's one of our biggest challenges, and we've actually gone through, and we're finishing up a set of data training, a series to complement the BICG offerings. So we actually have little online videos where people can learn more about their data, because the tools are so critically, important, and they're so innovative, and but if people have that lack of understanding, then we have a shared power plant with the city of Austin, and there's 3 units. They co-own part of units 1 and 2. They would use Excel to do these series of calculations to get the share data, the participant data for each partner, and it would take them hours. Our financial system wasn't really set up to store a separate set of books for our partner, so we store our own, and they would go derive our partner's information and then distribute those out. We actually went through a project where we kept the series of calculations in our metadata repository. Use those, apply those to our financial data. Both participants are shown, it's seamless, and there's no need to go back into Excel constantly and redo it. So that was actually one of our biggest and I think most important accomplishments, was because we were able to do that. And we went through a process where the training was a little bit more difficult there because people were so used to touching the data so often, and they have to get that level of comfort. But we included them right up front, and I think that was one of our biggest pieces of value, is because that reporting would take days. And now we got them to really look at what they were doing, actually develop a set of standard reports that are meaningful, and they can actually use that to do their analysis. So rather than every time they needed something, actually having to go in and type 50% and then multiply, it's just actually done for them. So that was actually an incredible thing.
The accurate and trusted data, I think, is a big piece of
Her question was, her question was, how did you make people feel comfortable with the data? We got them involved right up front. So they saw the data come in, and they were there during implementation, they were there during testing. So the individuals that were there were more high level. They were business managers and financial managers, so they participated throughout the entire project. And what we find now is probably one of the most interesting things, and that's the data coming in. If there is a problem with it, it's actually originating in the source system. So if they would have actually gone back into that system, they would still have experienced those data anomalies. It's not really a warehouse thing. We really have never had a problem where data flowing in was actually modified by the tool sets. It's all in the source system. It really does highlight every little problem, and it just magnifies it.